Stagecoach arose from the deregulation of the British express coach industry in the early 1980s, but its roots may be traced back to 1976 when Anne Glock and her husband Robin Glock established Globetrotter, a small recreational vehicle and minibus hire firm in Perth, Scotland. The Stagecoach Group is situated in Perth, Scotland and operate bus services throughout the country. Express coaches, buses, and the tram service are all provided by this company in the United Kingdom. Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, and Oceania were formerly home to it. National Express has agreed to buy Stagecoach Group in September 2021. An agreement was reached between the boards of the two firms in December 2021, but it was subject to shareholder approval as well as regulatory examination. To satisfy the Competition and Markets Authority, Stagecoach sold to Comfort Delgro Megabus its 35% stake in Scottish CityLink and the Falcon Coaches division of Stagecoach South West. After initially recommending that shareholders accept the National Express bid, the Board of Directors reversed its advice in favour of a takeover offer from a DWS-controlled investment fund in March 2022. EY, or Ernst & Young Global Limited, is a worldwide professional services network headquartered in London, England. Ernst & Young is one of the world's leading professional services networks. It is one of the big four accounting companies, along with Deloitte, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. Ernst & Young provides audit, tax, business risk, technology, and security risk services, and human capital services worldwide. The company, one of the big four accounting firms, dates back to the early 20th century. Scotsman Arthur Young and American Alvin Ernst founded their separate companies in 1906 and 1903, respectively. The companies merged in 1989. Today, the company employs over 200,000 people and operates in over 150 countries.
Hi and a very good day. I am AZARINA BINTI AZMAN, matric number 280894. I will present and explain the financial scandal involved by the company of Stagecoach Group. Throughout the discussion of this scandal that took place in April 2017, it is important to know who has been involved in this scandal. First, certainly the company itself, which is Stage Group, the London-listed public transport provider. Second, the auditor of the company for the year 2017, which is Ernst & Young, that is known as EY and also one of the big four accounting firms. Third, Mark Harvey, the former audit engagement partner who was responsible for reviewing the Stagecoach financial statement of 2017. Fourth, UK Accountancy Watchdog, and lastly, fifth, the Financial Reporting Council, the FRC. All the fifth bodies are involved in this scandal that I will explain what happened in this scandal later. The financial scandal happened on one of the Stagecoach's East Coast Mainline Railway franchise joint venture, where the audit failures in three areas of audit, which are first, obligations to the company-defined benefit pension system, second, provisions for accident-related insurance claims, and lastly, third, onerous contract provision. EY has given full cooperation with the FRC throughout the investigation of this scandal and took their findings seriously to address the identified shortcomings. The UK Accountancy Watchdog has fined EY amounting £2.2 million, which involved Mark Harvey, that he also been fined by the FRC amounting £70,000 for auditing failure. According to the FRS Quality Control Team, the fine levied against EY was the biggest ever fine in a case reported directly to the investigators. That's all for my explanation regarding the financial scandal involved by the company. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello. Now I will continue with the effect of the scandalous event to the auditor, which is EY. As we know, EY and Stage Group involved in a scandal, and the effect is EY will have to report to FRC for a year in respect of their audit work in relation to their contract obligations. EY as the auditor received huge penalties from FRC as they violating the auditor independence rule. EY and Harvey are said to fail in applying appropriate professional skepticism to assertion of the stagecoach management in relation to discussion and negotiation with the Department for Transport. Then the trouble for EY also grow as they have been fined by the FRC. Also, as they are known as one of the largest sector in accountancy, they have encountered some assessment regarding to their works of excellence in auditing. The involvement of EY in this scandal has broken the trust of them as the auditor. So, the auditors from EY should have referred to the audit plan that have been prepared before the earliest stage of accounting between them and Stagecoach Group. By having the audit plan, the works of audit will be performed in more effective manner. For the steps, when EY is accepted by Stagecoach as the auditor, they hope to understand the client's business and accounting system. EY will then assess the business risk of Stagecoach that their client will fail to accomplish the objective. To better understand the Stagecoach business and assess the business risk, EY will perform preliminary analytical procedures. Comparison will have to be done between their clients' Stagecoach ratio to competitor or industry benchmark. As the auditor, EY should set maturity and assess acceptable risk by gathering sufficient information to understand a few key processes that could give Stagecoach a competitive advantage or disadvantage. Auditor, EY will then develop the audit plan, and lastly will be followed by the documentation of the audit works toward their clients.
Hello everyone, my name is Naavalan, son of MADHIVANAN, metric number 280690, and I'll be presenting roles of the auditors in this case. Auditor is an important figure in that must involve in the process of verifying and give credibility to the financial statement of a company. Following the controversy, the auditor formed a new UK Audit Executive Committee, an Audit Remuneration Committee, as well as a new independent board to monitor its audit practice in the United Kingdom. The company engaged with the Financial Reporting Council (FRC) during the year 2017 regarding the group's accounting for its membership in the Railway Pension Scheme (RPS), in light of the FRC's identification of possible variability in accounting by UK listed firms. The FRC did not perform a true examination of their 2017 annual report and financial statement, instead focusing on certain RPS disclosures. Ernst & Young's audit of the group's consolidated financial statements for the year ended April 29, 2017 was evaluated by the FRC's Audit Quality Review Team. The FRC responded to the head of the Audit Committee, outlining the extent of its investigation, its main conclusion, and Ernst & Young's suggested responses. The Audit Committee studied the FRC's finding and addresses the suggested steps with Ernst & Young. highlighting the anticipated upgrades to audit work in the areas of rail franchise accounting, insurance provisions, and pension scheme requirements. In June 2018, the committee followed up with the Ernst and Young to check the measures taken for the 2018 audit had been executed. Following a review of the extent audit process and external auditors for the fiscal year ended April 28, 2018, a proposal to reappoint Ernst and Young as the group's audit was presented in the following annual general meeting. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I would like to continue our group presentation on the conclusion that we get throughout the case study. From this case study, we are provided with many lessons and insight about audit work, specifically on how the schedulers event has affected the auditor and what are the role played by the auditors in this case. As we discussed earlier, EY is at high risk when they cause an audit failure in the certain areas of the Stagecoach Group financial statement. As a result, EY is found guilty and legal action has been taken on them where they need to bear a huge amount of penalties, and they also had been asked to cover all of the investigation costs related to this case. On the other hand, more concern is on firm's reputation. Involving in this case has ruined the firm's name and also broken the trust from the clients. EY might later find difficulties to attract the clients because the trust in them has been eroded. Following this case, both internal and external auditor has played a very important role in gathering the information and report the findings throughout the process related to this case. Overall, we can conclude that the auditors need to comply and demonstrate the basic principles in governing an audit to guide their responsibilities when carrying out audit work. In the case between EY and Stagecoach Group, EY is not able to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to allow them obtain reasonable assurance on certain areas in the financial statement of Stagecoach Group. Therefore, they has drawn unreasonable conclusion therefrom on which to base their opinion on the financial information. So overall, we can conclude that the corruption case which took place in Stagecoach Group and also EY demonstrate how important for an auditor to apply the basic principles in governing an audit to guide their responsibilities when carried out audit works. So that's all from our group. Thank you very much.